John Snow. Clive Lloyd won the toss. The West Indians are batting and Selby is coming into Fredericks.
Not short, the first one out in the air. What a tremendous start there for Selby. A short one, probably the worst ball he bowled in the over, hooked away by Roy Fredericks, and a delighted Underwood down there racing in. And England strike the first blow here, and Selby, the man who just a week ago could have been playing in a test match, has taken the first wicket. Dropped short, plenty of time there for Fredericks to hook it. He hooked it high in the air. And Derek Underwood down at deep long leg has judged the catch beautifully. Well, no cricketer could wish for a more encouraging start than that. A good ball there, found the edge. And Hendricks to bowl again to Greenwich. And that's the shot he was thinking about, but he got it way over the top, gone through for four, dropped short. What a sensational start by Mike Selby. Richards, the man who threatened so much, completely deceived again by Selby. And the Middlesex man here, playing in his first test match, has already snapped up 2 West Indian wickets. An absolute dream start here for Selby. Fredericks already in his bag. And now taking this wicket that England so desperately needed. The man who's been in such great form. And there's the in-swinger, the one that we mentioned at the start of the programme. One who's developed this year, going through, finding the smallest gap there between bat and pad. And Vivian Richards is out with a score on 15 for 2. He made 4, Fredericks for 0, and a tremendous start here by England, who lost the toss and have now got West Indies reeling at 15 for 2. Hendrick now to Greenwich. That's short, that's hooked away, 4 runs. And once again, anything that Hendrick drops the slightest little bit short, this man takes full advantage of. And he bowled him. What a tremendous start. Calichuran knew absolutely nothing about it. And I can't recall anybody ever playing in a first test match as an opening bowler making such a tremendous start. 19 for 3. Calichuran out for 0. Another wicket to Selby, whose figures now stand at the most remarkable ones of 3 for 6. And the longer one watches and plays cricket, I think the less one understands about it. An absolute corker of a delivery, moving in and moving so late into Calichuran. And Calichuran absolutely perplexed, can't think how that one got past. And he might have had a shock if he'd seen that action replay. Well, you'll hear a tremendous cheer now for the great hero of Lancashire County Cricket Club, Clive Lloyd, back here on his home ground. And my word, are West Indies looking to him now, because they're in every kind of trouble at 19 for 3. And Mike Selby is probably wondering what it's all about. When he came into this side, because John Snow was injured, Chris Old was injured, last-minute call-up. Selby to Lloyd. Go in there, just see whether they no, it was off the pad. Hendrick to Lloyd. Oh, and it's a magnificent catch, and you won't see many better catches than that, and Frank Hayes has done it. Clive Lloyd's back, West Indies on 26 for 4, and there's quite a tremendous start. An absolutely superb catch there by Frank Hayes, making a chance out of nothing at all. Flicked round the corner by Lloyd, who must have thought he got 4 runs. Tremendous diving catch to the left. And it looked 4 from the moment it left the bat, and Hayes, the man getting rid of his county colleague, Clive Lloyd.
At a perilous 4 for 26, debutant Collis King joins Greenwich at the wicket.
It's a fine shot. He's played 2 of those today. One off Hendrick, straight down the ground, just on the onside, and that's the second ball now. And Woolmer bowls his first ball to Greenwich. Coming not, and he's not going to get there. That was a very poor piece of judgment between the two of them, Knott and Underwood, because Underwood only had to come in some 15-20 yards, whereas Knott had to run about 40 yards. And the only reason Underwood would not have gone for it would be that they were calling Knotty from the slip area. Runs, and the 50 up for the West Indies. That powerful square cut from Gordon Greenwich. And 4 more. 2 very short deliveries from Bob Woolmer. Great effort from Frank Hayes. Just got his fingertips to it, but it's gone for 4 more runs.
He's got that away, single land to Greenwich. No problem at all in taking it. Goes through to 50, a very useful 50, taken just a fraction under an hour and 3/4. 7 boundaries in it, and 50 in fact made out of this score of 78 for 4. Some idea of the value of these runs from Gordon Greenwich this morning. Greg to Greenwich. Well, that's beat mid-off, going through for 4. Over-pitch ball. That's Gordon Greenwich's 8th boundary as he moves on to 54. And immediately Greg going more on the defensive, going to bowl to 2 slips now and pushing in an extra cover. Bob Woolmer in the sun hat coming in to fill that gap at extra cover. And it won't do anybody any good, but they use another 2 minutes there, and a fierce cover drive there by Greenwich. It's a nice friendly half volley, and Greenwich never seems to miss anything pitched up or anything dropped short. Off the edge. Well, gave Hendrick absolutely no chance there at slip. Went past him like a rocket. Greenwich on 58, King on 21 have moved it on to 92 for 4. That's a friendly full toss on the leg stump, no bother at all to Greenwich. Clipping it away through mid-wicket for yet another boundary. High percentage of his runs have come in 4s. That's the 10th boundary he's hit this morning. So 40 out of his 62 coming in boundaries.
It's a great shot. Beautifully timed that for 4 runs. No chance of Woolmer cutting that off. It's his 11th boundary, Greenwich, in a total of 66. That was one of the better ones. So the 100 goes up, 102 for 4 now. And it's Mike Hendrick. 4 runs. a very good delivery. Hendrick's been disappointing this morning. Bowler at that pace should be a little more accurate than that. So that's the 100 partnership up now for Greenwich and Collis King.
A little bit more for the West Indies supporters to cheer about now. The score on 137 for 4.
And as he caught it, it's a magnificent catch if he has. And what a great day England are having in the field. Tony Greig, a really superb catch. The end of the patience there of Collis King, trying to clear Underwood over mid-on. And a really magnificent catch there by the England captain. Dashing in for repairs there. He had a bandage on his arm when he came out earlier. Could well have grazed it and knocked the skin off again in that fairly dramatic dive to his right to snaffle up that catch. Collis King using his feet, didn't quite lift it as he intended to, and a tremendous catch there by Tony Greig. Marvellous bit of cricket that.
King and Greenwich combined for an invaluable 111-run stand. Greenwich continues to be a thorn in England's side.
Oh, that's another fine shot. Enormous power he gets out of all these strokes. Follow through the rapid outfield there, doing its work in the end for Greenwich. Bring him another 4, taking him on to 95. In any form of cricket, Derek Underwood is an intensely difficult man to get away. He's already bowled 10 overs for just 19 runs.
And it's over the top, and that's what Collis King was trying to do. It's a glorious shot over the top of mid-off. 4 runs, the 4 runs that Gordon Greenwich needed to complete quite a brilliant 100. And there can't have been very many better hundreds than that. When you think in context of this West Indies innings, that he's made his 100 out of a score of only 146 for 5. Tremendous performance. It's his maiden Test century against England. It's come in a shade over 3 hours, included 15 fours, and is only the second Test 100 of his career. Gordon Greenwich leaving no doubt there. That's the way he wanted to go to 100.
We join play in the 9th over of the innings. Daniel bowls to Close.
Oh, and that's out. That must be out. That's as plumb as you'll see anywhere. Cutting back at Brian Close, and the first England wicket goes down for 9. Close out to the first ball of Daniel Spell. He has 1 for none, and Brian Close is dismissed for 2. LBW to Daniel. Ball came back quite sharply and hit him just on the knee. There's the first hit. David Steele has indicated that he intends to keep on hooking, and you can't have anything more definite than that.
Wayne Daniel to John Edrich.
Full toss, put away very effectively by Edrich. First time he's really middle of the ball, going through for 4 runs. A good shot by David Steele, over pitch ball, driven very firmly through mid-wicket for 4 runs. And Steele very quickly into position there to deal with that over pitch ball from Holding. Short and pulled away again, pulled very well in fact this time by Steele. So short he was able to pull it well in front of square. The ball just about to beat the 2 chasing West Indian fielders, and David Steele records his 3rd boundary in this innings, moves on to 18. And Indies had LBW, and Daniel struck again. That one nipping back from outside off stump. It's not Daniel, of course, it's Roberts I'm talking about. And the end of Steele, LBW to Andy Roberts for 20. On the game, evening itself out here with England now on 36 for 2. Roberts pitching that one just outside off stump, bringing it back very sharply. I don't think any doubt at all there in umpire Bill Ellie's mind that David Steele had to go.
The loss of 2 wickets late in the day, particularly David Steele's.
That's 4. It was catchable too. Gordon Greenwich and Kalicharan. Neither of them went for it, and I would say, looking from here, behind the bowler's arm, that it was Greenwich's catch. On his left-hand side, and it seemed to go fairly close. He's at second slip, seemed to go fairly close to his left leg, off the outside edge. He goes for it now, and it landed certainly in a catchable position with both fieldsmen looking at it. Good toss, and Andy Roberts just ran after it. And that's out, yes it is. Kalicharan has taken it at first slip, a good catch that. Sharp catch, and Pocock is gone. Caught Kalicharan, bowled holding for 7, and England 46 for 3. It's the breakthrough the West Indies needed. Either one of these two players to get into the rest of the batting order. It's off the mark straight away. 2 runs. Andy Roberts now to Edrich. And that's out. He's gone, and it's the second wicket of the morning. 48 for 4. Andy Roberts strikes this time. Holding having taken the first wicket. Now Edrich is out. Court Murray bowled Roberts for 8. 48 for 4 England, chasing 211. Pressure right on now. Andy Roberts. There's 2 wickets to his name now. Bowls his first ball to Frank Hayes. And that's out! First ball. Clive Lloyd has caught it, and Andy Roberts got that ball up from just short of a length. A very good delivery, and Frank Hayes is gone. Roberts is on a hat-trick, and it's 48 for 5 England in reply to the West Indies 211. Disaster for England here this morning. 3 wickets down. Just short of a length. Hayes played it, well, as correctly as you could do, and it came up off the shoulder of the bat. Clive Lloyd, the man moving around to take the catch. Quite a simple chance. And most disappointed Frank Hayes goes back to the pavilion now, and the West Indies absolutely delighted. So it's 48 for 5 now. And what a time for the England captain to come in. He's been in a number of tough situations in the last 2 years. Nothing more tough than this. 48 for 5. Roberts on a hat-trick, and the last hat-trick performed in Test cricket was by West Indian Lance Gibbs. That was at Adelaide in 1960-61. I had the pleasure, dubious pleasure, of standing at the other end whilst he knocked the 3 of them over. It's a good shot from Tony Gregg. Albert Padmore's after it, but it'll beat him into the boundary. So Gregg starts off in dashing style, and it's certainly the right thing to do to try and carry the attack back to the West Indian bowlers.
A little bit fortunate there, actually. It was a very useful ball. Came back quite sharply, and the intended off drive brings him a couple of runs through mid-wicket. It's a fine ball, and Daniel's done it again. Brought one back inside edge. Gregg has gone. And another failure for the England captain. Bowled by Daniel for 9, and England slumping here to 65 for 6. Holding it into Woolmer. Oh, and a good ball, asking for it, and Woolmer's off without looking at the umpire. A little touch off the glove, I fancy there. And Holding breaking through. Woolmer, who'd looked as safe and as sound as anybody out there. Just a little unfortunate. I think it just flicked his glove as it went through. But Woolmer, a very sporting gesture there. He didn't even wait for the umpire, Lionel Budd, to give the decision. He was on his way. Oh, and a really nasty one again there. Ticking that one in just short of a length. And with the over 8 so slow in modern cricket and 3 pace bowlers in the side, batsmen really don't blunt the pace of these quickies. They keep coming back in short bursts, take the time, have a good rest, and they come back at 5:30 these days and bowl as quickly as they do at 11:30. And he's bowled him. So out goes the leg stump. Underwood goes for naught. Holding takes another wicket. And England go on to 67 for 8. Pitched well up this time. Must have come as a surprise to Derek Underwood after receiving those short ones. Belated effort to try and force it away. And once again, an English batsman late on the shot. Sullivan then to receive his first ball in a test match. And confidently away, pushed nicely through mid-on. Great roar from the crowd. Runs in front of the wicket for a change. And collects a couple for that firm little push through mid-on.
Holding now, just waiting for Knott to ready himself. And that's out. It's Greenwich, the man who made that century Everett Weeks was just talking about, catching Alan Knott off Holding. 71 for 9 now. And that was a very good delivery again. The ball really is moving off the seam out there this morning. Big leg cutter again. And Gordon Greenwich snaps it up at second slip. Both feet off the ground. Bowl him, and that's the end. 71 all out. Holding bowls Hendrick. And what a sensational morning this has been, and what a triumph for the West Indies and their fast bowlers. 211 the West Indies. England all out for 71 in the first session of play on the second day of this third test. That's how the last wicket fell. Mike Hendrick never in line. The ball removing the off stump. Hendrick is out for naught, and Holding finishes with 14.4 overs, 7 maidens, 5 for 17, and there he is being given pride of place by his teammates. A splendid fast bowling performance, and he takes off Andy Roberts with him. Roberts, the man who broke through those 2 quick wickets earlier. Between them, they took 8 for 39, and Daniel, the third bowler used, had 2 for 13. Well, if you thought the West Indies scorecard yesterday was remarkable, what about that one? David Steele 20, and the next highest score, extras 19. Not another man in double figures. A real trail of disaster for England, all out for 71. Their lowest score since they made 52 at the Oval against Australia in 1948. A terrible performance from the batsmen. The bowling, really good. Roberts, Holding and Daniel, just 3 bowlers used. Roberts 3 for 22 from 12 overs. I thought he bowled superbly. Holding came in with 5 for 17, took 5 for 6 at one stage, 14.5 overs, 7 maidens, and Daniel chipped in for 2 for 13 from 6 overs, 2 maidens. Well, that really was a terrible morning for England, one of the worst I've seen from them in recent years. And now their task was to keep the West Indian batsmen tied down and to pick up as many wickets as they could. Well, the first bowler for England was Mike Selvey. He took 4 for 41 in the first innings. Could he do it again? We join him now, and he's bowling to Gordon Greenidge. It's in the air, but it's safe, and it's 4 runs. There's a real come-to-attention drive, both feet coming together.
And fairly hammered off the back foot there by Greenidge. Half volley, swinging slightly away, beautifully timed, perfectly placed shot from Greenidge. The man who's made all the difference to this game of cricket. In fact, his score just about being the difference between the two sides here on first innings. That short pulled away this time safely by Fredericks. David Steele coming round from a fairly deep position on the long leg boundary. And once again, Fredericks quite happy to just amble a couple of runs there. His side now in an extremely strong position, moving on to 29. No wickets down. The odd umbrella going up in the crowd. Nothing very much to this rain at the moment, just a few spots. In fact, not enough for them to keep the umbrella up, but certainly threatening. Powered away through mid-wicket, all the way for 4 runs. And no third man, not found the gap between third slip and gully, racing away to the boundary. And so Tony Gregory's attacked at least with this new ball, but he's got to be thinking, I think, now in terms of trying to contain these West Indies. They've moved on to 40 without loss. Still bowling with an attacking field, which is fair enough, whilst the shine is on the ball and it's new. 3 slips a gully, 2 short legs, but anything beating those will most obviously go for 4. And chopped again, wide of third slip, racing away down there. Touch and go, yes. Hayes doing the fielding. And just as well, I think it was Frank Hayes, certainly the fastest man in this England side, saved runs by the score right the way through this match. And those runs bringing the opening partnership up to the 50 mark, coming only 43 minutes. He's found the gap again. 4 runs, absolutely pointless chasing it on that outfield there, racing away in front of the pavilion. Another boundary to Gordon Greenidge. And Selvey's bowling in the second innings here, proving pretty expensive. Oh, it's a good shot, short again by Hendricks, forced away off the back foot by Fredericks. Selvey chasing it, but no chance of stopping it, so it's another boundary to the little left-hander. And West Indies score moving on now to 61, all their wickets in hand. So Pocock to bowl first of all to the right-hander Greenidge. Down the wicket, swung away to mid-wicket. And Selvey out there, didn't pick it up, it's gone through for 4. Really taking his life in his hands there. Backed away, forced it through the offside. A second successive boundary to Gordon Greenidge, who's determined now that he's going to try and get after these spin bowlers.
Beautiful shot. 4 runs to Greenidge. The 4 runs, beating Bulmer. Nicely timed by Fredericks, getting it away past backward point's right hand.
That's another good shot. Beautifully placed too. There's a ring of 4 fielders there, but Fredericks has found the gap, forcing it away. They're looking for 3 runs here to bring up a century opening partnership between these two. And they haven't been hanging about by any means. That 100th partnership coming up in 24 overs and taking only 89 minutes. Both batsmen level now on 46.
It's another magnificent shot, and it's ricocheted off the stumps for 4 runs. Really launched himself at that. And that's 50. What a marvellous match Gordon Greenidge is having.
Yeah, 50 comes up for Roy Fredericks to join Gordon Greenidge on the same score. A great effort from this pair. West Indies batsmen were in trouble in the first innings. England's batsmen demolished in their first innings, and here a great reply for the opening partnership, the West Indies' second attempt. Mike Hendrick now bowling to Roy Fredericks. And he's trodden on his stumps, but extraordinary dismissal. Of all things, Fredericks and Greenidge having put on 116, Fredericks has now trodden on his stumps with the first ball after resumption. And a very sad man goes back to the pavilion, and very annoyed too, I should think. He's off the mark now, though. Fairly racing across the ground to the boundary. Fine shot by Richards.
Selvey to Richards. Difficult chance there. Warmer just getting a hand to it. Not dissimilar, in fact, to the one that Tony Greig caught in the first innings. A let off then for Richards. His score on 6, 131 for 1. And that's in the air, but safe this time, going hurrying away for 4 more. Short, pulled away, another glorious boundary to Richards, who's starting to cut loose here. Selvey, the bowler, again to suffer, and Mike Selvey has now been hit for 67 runs off his 14 overs.
There were 4 interruptions for rain and bad light during the afternoon, and eventually when Selvey bowled to Vivian Richards.
Swing there, beautifully timed. Took everything into account there. Ball certainly swung away in the air, but Richards playing a superb extra cover drive. First time this morning that the West Indians have found the edge. Greenidge on 77 now, facing Hendrick. That's a good shot, found the gap, that'll race away. Tony Greig chasing it, but he can give it up because that'll go through for another boundary.
Well, that's good running. Beautiful piece of running between the wickets, that. Very quick Gordon Greenidge to come back for 2. No need to chase that. Well, it's very rarely that Derek Underwood is flurried into bowling a short delivery, having over-pitched one the ball before. But Richards very quick to take account of that, and he goes on to 44. Four more. Lovely, delicate stroke. It went in the air, but it was well out of the reach of Brian Close. It slipped. Up goes that third figure on the board to bring up the 200. And this really is good to watch. Oh, God, what a great shot. Oh, he really did hammer that. Every little bit of... That's safe and a good shot. And his 50, it went in the air past Hendrick at... Woolmer at Square Leg. And it's taken Richards on to 53. So we now to Greenwich. That's 4, and that's his 100. Not the finest shot with which to bring it up, but that is a century in each innings for Gordon Greenwich. 134 in the first innings, 101 in the second innings of this match. It's the first time any player has scored a century in each innings of a test match on this ground. Bowling! He just got it in time, and the loss of concentration with the achievement of that tremendous feat came one ball later. Mike Selvey, the man who broke through, and West Indies now 224 for 2. So Greenwich goes back to the pavilion. A wonderful effort. He batted 245 minutes and hit 13 fours. He is the 7th West Indian to score a century in each innings of a test. It's his second century against England. His first was in the first innings of this match, and the third of his career. And we're hoping now to be able to push the score along with an eye to a declaration later. Quickly off the mark. And we'll take 2. Good piece of fielding from Bob Woolmer. Came in very fast, but Lloyd is beautifully quick between the wickets.
And Richards on 54 at the far end. And it's driven fiercely through mid-on. It's a chase along the boundary there. Sprawling dive, and Woolmer unable to cut it off. Straight driven 4 to Richards. Lloyd moved into double figures now on 10. And he's dropped him. Chance to Brian Close, fielding Close just round the corner. That one turned, pushed into Close and out again. And a let-off for Clive Lloyd with his score on 10. West Indies then remain on 247 for the loss of just 2 wickets. Got it away fine. Underwood chasing around, just about able to cut it off. But no, a dive, got one hunt to it. Just popped over the line, and it's 4 more to Viv Richards. So he moves on to 68. And that brings up the 250 for West Indies. 251 for 2 in the 67th over.
It's a fine stroke. Pick a ball from Underwood, and Richards picked it nicely. Go for 4. Leg buys. Signal by umpire Bud. Spun a bit, that one. Lloyd was on the way down the track to hit it away over mid-on. Just flipped the trousers on the way through. A little bit astray there. Got too much down the leg side that time. There's an offside field and no men on the boundary on the leg side. That's not the place to pitch it. 291 for 2. Vivian Richards is on 94. And a beautiful 4. Takes him up to 98. Lovely stroke that. It was a quicker ball from Underwood. And he clipped it away, placing it beautifully past the man at backward point. He's going to look for 2. Underwood's the fieldsman. He's hammered at the other end, and he'll have to go. And that is very close. And he's made it a tremendous piece of running. He was hampered quite inadvertently by Pocock at the other end. Richards looking down to fine leg, but he made it for his century. 298 for 2. West Indies, a lead of 438 with 8 wickets in stand.
Underwood to Lloyd. He's found the outside edge. Going on with the arm, and that's going through for 4 more to Clive Lloyd, taking him on to 24. Pocock now to Richards. And that's through for another 4. Immensely powerful blow again by Vivian Richards, dancing down the wicket, clipping it through that big gap mid-wicket. That's 4 all the way, dropped short by Pocock, hit again, so powerfully off the back foot by Lloyd. That's another powerful blow, straight over the top, into the crowd with no apparent effort whatsoever by Clive Lloyd. First 6 to him, moving him on to 36 and bringing up the 100 partnership between himself and Vivian Richards at the far end. Underwood again from the Stretford end. Another delicate late cut by Richards. Another boundary to Vivian Richards. That's his 15th of the innings so far as his score moves on to 114. And that's hammered again, straight past the bowler, using his feet. Delightful footwork there by Richards, moving on now to 118, his 16th boundary. And all the shots flowing from the bat of Clive Lloyd now, sweeping Underwood away to a deep fine for 4 more. Hendrick to Richards. And that's going through for 4 more. Over pitch ball, clipped through mid-wicket, so this rampage goes on. 124 now to Richards, the 350 for West Indies coming up. Only 2 wickets down and added on 140 lead in the first innings. 492 their overall lead with 8 wickets in hand.
It's in the air and Underwood's coming round under it and he takes it. The 3rd wicket is down. A well-judged catch by Derek Underwood. Selvey takes his wicket and Lloyd is out for 43. Caught Underwood, bowls Selvey. Selvey takes his 2nd wicket. It's in the air, but safe, and 4 runs, so he's off the mark and off that dreaded pair. .360 for 3. 97 overs gone with the sole ball. That's a fine shot. Beautiful stroke of his hip through mid-wicket for 4. Glorious shot by Vivian Richards to take him on to 132. That's in the air and it's 4 runs. That's a good stroke. That's closer, my word. Good ball, that. Quicker one from Pocock, the top spinner. And Vivian Richards is out for 135. LBW Pocock. 385 for 4. And the West Indian lead now is 525.
And that's caught. He is nicely caught at slip by Brian Close. Having a go at Pocock outside the off stump. Kalicharan falling second ball after tee. 5 wickets down. Kalicharan gone for 20. 388 for 5. So here it is again. Pocock coming round the wicket to the left-hander. Probably pitching a little bit in the rough outside the left-hander's off stump, and it turned enough to find a thickish outside edge, and a fine catch there by Brian Close.
No doubt about his intentions there, down the wicket. Glorious straight shot there, going into the crowd for 6. Well, it's given the West Indian supporters in the crowd there something to shout about. Been pretty patient. They've gone solidly along most of the day here. Hasn't been too much excitement. It's just been some very good, competent batting. But Collis King, who's a man who likes to play a few shots, doesn't like to be tied down. Adding a 6 to his earlier 4. He's on 10. Short, swung away for 4 more. Really gave that the old heave-ho, wasn't all that short. Swung it away, kept it on the ground the whole way. 4 in front of the members' pavilion here. It's wide of Close there. Murray looking here for the second. He'll make it. And this could be the declaration. So a weary Underwood joining his England colleagues on the wane. Been a long, hard day for them out there, and Clive Lloyd eventually pulling them in at 411 for 5. So 140 lead in the first innings added onto that gives one a total of 551 ahead. So the task that England face now is of scoring 552 to win this Test match.
Wonderful performance there from Gordon Greenidge for his 101. Vivian Richards, glorious stroke play in that 135. Clive Lloyd hit strongly for his 43 before throwing away his innings. Kalicharan redressed the balance of that duck in the first innings by making 20 in the second. Collis King remained 14 not out. Derek Murray 7, 411 for 5. A great effort from the West Indians in their second innings. And this left England with 80 minutes to survive this evening. John Edridge and Brian Close were the openers, and here's Andy Roberts now, following the first over of the England second innings. John Edridge as the batsman.
And turned again. Down the leg side.
Hit him hard. Well, he's more concerned with patting down the pitch, and in typical Closey style, he hasn't rubbed it. No ball again. John Edridge doesn't look particularly happy there at the moment, not necessarily because the bowlers are beating the edge of the bat, but he's had nothing resembling a good length ball or a half volley so far.
He's got it through for 4. Great roar from the crowd, greeting that boundary from John Edridge. They're even standing on their feet to applaud. It's a good shot, and absolutely no reason why more shots like that can't be played. So 53 minutes, he moves on from 1 to 5. A really quick one, that. And my word, Brian Close did well to avoid quite a nasty accident there. That was really fired in extremely quickly. And only at the last possible minute did he manage to get that head out of the way. And that's hurt him. That's somewhere, I think, round about the mark where earlier he let one bounce off him. And although he will never show any trace of emotion whatsoever, or give anybody the impression at any time in his cricket life he's ever been hurt, that really must have stung him. And both these batsmen, I think, particularly unhappy about the number of short pitch balls that have been fired down. No word yet said by the umpire. See again exactly where this one pitches. It's a difficult decision, in fact, for these umpires to make, because that really wasn't a genuine bouncer. And I think there's going to be a warning this time from umpire Bill Alley. Enough is enough, he says, and quite rightly so. He's really overdone the short pitches in this long spell. It's been Brian Close who's taken the brunt of it. In fact, he's been down at that end now for 45 minutes. Edrich at the far end, and Close trying to take this pace attack, but extremely difficult. And they're looking and prodding the pitch to see exactly where that ball is pitched, and if that's any indication, it is about halfway down. Well, Brian Close is going to be a mass of bruises when he eventually gets back into the haven of the pavilion. To the end of another holding over, and see what you can do with that. Spectators asked to John Edrich, is that going to be wide enough for you? It's not a question of the width, it's a question of being able to get it up in position quick enough, I think. The police going over there. Bill Alley's going to collect that bat, and at least the only thing that can be said, it might take a little bit of a tenseness out of a situation that was certainly developing out there. It's Derek Randall, who's England's 12th man here today.
Run straight away for John Edrich. And 4. So 8 off this over so far. No chance of Wayne Daniel picking that up at leg slip, and enthusiasm for the crowd in this first over of the day. 4 runs. It's the breasting ball again. Different situation for John Edrich this morning. Survivor was the only thing on Saturday evening. Here today, it's a different ball game. Starting off the innings from scratch again. Can play with more freedom. And that is out. Yes, it is. I would say from here, he's asking the umpire. In fact, it's bounced out. Frederick's asking Lloyd about it. Edridge was on his way, having just pushed the ball in the air out towards gully. Fredericks was the man who went for it. Dived, seemed to catch it, and Edridge was on his way, and then he rolled over. The ball's not visible there. Well, I don't think one can really blame the bowler for that. Pull the bat away. It hits you on the chest. It makes your chest very sore. 4 runs. Nicely picked off his toes there by Brian Close.
And that's found the gap again on the offside. That'll run away for 4 more. There's no third man down there. So 4 fours, and the last one by Brian Close, taking England past the 50 mark. So a nice change here, an opening stand of 50 between these two. Always bowled him. Good ball, that pitched well up, just moving fractionally away from the left-hander. So John Edrich, the first Englishman out in the second innings, bowled by Wayne Daniel for 24. That wicket going down with a total on 54. So an opening partnership of 54 ending this way. Daniel pitching that round about middle stump and just hitting the off. And John Edrich completely beaten there. So the Surrey captain on his way in, he's helped to give England a good start in this long second innings haul, sharing an opening partnership of 54 with Brian to score his first run, facing Daniel. Got the chance there and done it well. Put the ball down nicely, tucked it away to deep long leg for 4. David Steele beginning the second innings in identical fashion to the first. And he's bowled him. So Roberts, a very similar delivery, in fact, to the one that got rid of Edrich. The left-hander, that's where they're usually a little bit fallible, round about off stump. Good ball, might just have cut away from Close fractionally. And Roberts right on target here. Just, again, knocking back the off stump. Edrich losing his off stump, and now the other left-hander going in similar style. So both England openers out, the score on 60, a long, bitter struggle there from Brian Close. And he's getting a very good hand for yet another courageous display against the pace bowlers. Must be close. Yes, he's out. First ball, LBW, that cut in back. And the delighted West Indians surrounding Andy Roberts there. And Woolmer out. First ball, England plummeting now to 60 for 3 after getting such a good start. Disappointment. A long look by Bill Ali before he gave this out, but I must say it looked extremely close. Pitching outside, off stump, cutting back. He played a shot at it. And on that replay, it looked absolutely plumb. So Andy Roberts is on a hat-trick in this test match. Daniel to steal. Nicely forward, flicked away through mid-on. Chance here for Vivian Richards, tossed off the cap. Just about catch it before the edge. And the batsman gets away. And running through quickly, a big roar. Frank Hayes has done it. He's off the mark. A big sigh of relief. That's the hook shot, played safely and played well. Nobody down there, no problem at all. It's cleared the ropes, it's gone for 6. And David Steele, at last one Englishman to effectively play the hook shot, has put Daniel away for 6. Roberts to Hayes. Work that away through the 2 short legs, racing away. They're both after it, but no hope of stopping it. So 4 runs to Frank Hayes.
It's in the air, and it's going down to Andy Roberts. And he's caught it, and Steele has gone again to the hook shot, and Roberts was placed there very, very precisely by Clive Lloyd. He moved him in the last over to exactly the spot he wanted, and Holding bowled the perfect bouncer. David Steele didn't play the perfect hook shot, as you'll see here. He was hitting it in the air all the time, and it came off the top edge. He was very much off balance, as he always will be whilst he's rocking onto the front foot. Andy Roberts completes the catch. So it's 80 for 4 now. Steele caught Roberts, bowled Holding. It's Holding's first wicket of the innings. Four runs, all the field up. Nice stroke off his pads by Frank Hayes. Out of 9. Michael Holding now to Tony Greig. Greig is off the mark with a 2. It's a splendid stroke. And just a yard inside the boundary. Well played by Frank Hayes. It was just round about leg stump, quickly into position. And he went with it, hit it in the air. But there's no man down that long leg. Quite a safe stroke without a man down there. And that's well bowled by Michael Holding. It's a good over, a good 2 overs in fact. He's got that ball slanting in a long, long way. He did beat Greig with one that went away from the bat, and then that one came in again. I think probably between bat and pad once more. Yes, indeed, to take the leg stump. And quite an appreciable in-slant there. Good piece of bowling from Holding, who's certainly bowled with much more common sense today than he did on Saturday. So another failure for Tony Greig, who's batting this series, has not been all that he would have wanted, nor indeed all that the selectors would have wanted.
He's got that through. Just hung the bat out. Ball fortunately keeping low. Found the outside edge and the gap there between slips and gully. So the 100 reached by England, but they've lost 5 wickets in attaining it. Another good shot, Alan Knott. Put away nicely through mid-wicket. Certainly 3 more here. Well, this is what little Notty wants. A few shots off the middle of the bat to get his confidence back in these test matches. Roberts to Knott.
Slow one, and he's caught in the gully. Change of pace. Frederick snapping up a good catch in the gully. And a good piece of intelligent bowling there by Andy Roberts. Held that one back. Alan Knott just that fraction of a second too early on it. Going through with a shot. And Roy Fredericks, the square of the two gullies, taking a good, smart catch. Well, that's a bit of blow for England, losing what is surely their last recognised batsman here, Alan Knott, out for 14 with the score now on 112 for 6. So another wicket to Andy Roberts. He's been picking them up with amazing consistency right throughout this tour. His third of the innings. And the new batsman in and out there to face him now is Derek Underwood. Roberts to Underwood. And he's out first ball. Caught in the slips. Fairly simple catch. And Roberts strikes again. Collis King, the man to pick that catch up. And for the second time in this innings, Andy Roberts is on a hat-trick. Underwood out first ball. England slumping to 112 for 7 in the second innings. Given himself plenty of room there. The outside edge, comfortably taken at slip. He's got a new batsman at the far end, Mike Selvey. Lloyd bringing the long leg up to a catching position now at leg slip. 3 short legs, 3 slips, 2 gullies, holding in on the hat-trick to Selvey. And he's dropped it, and he's dropped it. Well, would you believe it? What bad luck. It was a very wide half volley, and Selvey going fishing for it. The catch going into Greenwich's hands at second slip and out. Well, a great disappointment then to Andy Roberts. It's not often you see a hat-trick in this country in a test match, but very seldom do you ever see one dropped off for the 3.
The hat-trick are very, very high. Good shot. It's a fine stroke from Frank Hayes. Got that well wide of the man down at deep fine leg. Remember when he made a century in his first test match against West Indies? He employed the hook stroke then. It got him out a bit in the West Indies, apparently, where there's a little bit of extra bounce in the pitches. And that's out. Gordon Greenwich this time making no mistake. That got up pretty sharply. Hayes, I think, tried to get the bat out of the road, but he's the 8th English wicket to go down with the total at 118. Caught Greenwich, bowled Roberts for 18. Selvey is not out 1. And here again is how it happened. Shortish. It got up about shoulder high, and Hayes was trying to pull the bat out of the road. And Greenwich this time took it very low down. And no doubt is very relieved. And that is out. A simple catch there to Collis King. Outside edge of Pocock's bat, and Wayne Daniel has taken his 2nd wicket of the innings. Pocock caught King, bowled Daniel for 3. It's 124 for 9. And it was quite a straightforward wicket, that. Had Pocock playing defensively, outside edge, angled away, and Collis King had no trouble at all in taking the catch at round about knee height. False alarms, the umpires weren't able to get back on the field. That's the tea time score, 125 for 9. It stayed there right through the afternoon until play was abandoned around about 6:15. Extras top score, 25, only by 1 run. John Edridge made 24, but the last time extras top scored in a test was England v New Zealand back in 1973 at Trent Bridge. Some of the England batsmen got a start there. Edridge, Close, Steele, Hayes and Alan Knott, but they weren't able to go on with it. And it really is a
continues tomorrow at 6:30 on ESPN Classic.
71. Some splendid bowling from the West Indians. Only the 3 bowlers used today. Padmore didn't bowl. Roberts, I thought, bowled superbly, not just because he took 5 wickets, but because he used his head, bowled extremely intelligently, and Michael Holding did the same. He kept the ball up further to the bat today. Perhaps the best surprise packet for the West Indians was Wayne Daniel, who I think turned in his best performance today, 2 for 39 in 17 overs. He was bowling fast leg cutters at one stage, and that's pretty difficult to combat. Well, the situation at the moment is that England needed to rain all day tomorrow. There was one great escape a few years ago I saw in Johannesburg when Australia got away from South Africa at 148 for 8 with a day and a half to go, and it rained for that remaining day and a half. The England side, after the disappointments of this game, well, I think there really must be changes, and personally, I would want to see half a dozen changes for the Headingley Test, not because I want to see the fellows go, but because I think England have to build up.